What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HeroesHearth Warcraft 3 Fight Night. It's time to find out who's going to reign supreme. We have the all-time, everlasting, eternal struggle between NA and EU going into another round, as we find out whether a reigning champion LiiLD.C from Sweden is going to reign supreme once more and defend his title, or if the new challenger from NA, the local matador, known as CrunCher, playing the human race, is going to be able to snatch it away from him. With me, of course, as always, my lovely co-commentator Grubby, looking dapper today, man. I love the background. I love the hoodie. How's it going, man?
Yeah, very well, Kendric. Nice to be back here with another fight night. 3 weeks since the last one. No, we had the 3-week break before that, right?
Yeah.
So 2 weeks since the last
schedule.
one. Back to our regular schedule, and we have LiiLD.C versus CrunCher. Really excited about this one, Kendric. Both of these players were pro way back when, before the little break that Warcraft 3 esports took, as it were. CrunCher now being slated as top 2 player in NA. LiiLD.C is probably top 2 in Sweden.
Yeah, very true. A lot of people actually hyping CrunCher and, really giving him a lot of credit and a lot of, a lot of momentum here in this series, saying that he is one of the best non-Asian humans out there, putting him on the same level as maybe Thorzen, And that's really in Hawk. Actually, there was 2 tweets that I got,
really?
Saying that he could be put on the same level. Of course, maybe with a little bit of. And CrunCher actually said that in his interview. He said when I told him that people were so excited about him, he said, "Yeah, okay, let's take things a little slowly here. Let's ride the horse slowly, cowboy, because I'm not sure if I'm on the same level as Hawk, and Thorzen."
Who said he's on the same level as Hawk? That's insane.
I would have to look it up on Twitter. I think it was. I would have to look it up. Maybe I can give you the name really soon. But it was definitely someone who's a lot involved in the Warcraft 3 scene. Not a random tweet,
Okay, cool. Wow. And LiiLD.C comes hot off the back of a 3-2 victory 2 weeks ago. We'll now have CrunCher to deal with.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough one for him. The matchup right now, pretty good for human. LiiLD.C is kind of a classical standard player from what I can tell for the most part. Last week, it was Demon Hunter Naga every game. That's kind of the prevalent meta against human as well. If he does that 5 times in a row, or however many games he gets, CrunCher is going to get used to it. And the standard response to Demon Hunter first is a very fast expansion. If you got that down really, really well, we're going to get a lot of standard macro games, very StarCraft 2-like, which will be pretty cool to watch.
Absolutely. I think the matchup is very heated right now, especially if you're a Night Elf. And LiiLD.C said that in the interview, 2 weeks ago when he played against ShaDai, Undead player, he was very confident. He said it's his favorite matchup. He likes to play Undeads. So that was very good for him. He kind of was in his comfort zone. And the result, I think, mirrored that as well. But now, they're arguably against the hardest matchup right now for the Night Elves.
Yeah. And CrunCher, was he confident?
CrunCher was very confident. He admitted that human does well against Night Elves at the moment. He actually said Night Elves in general as a race seems to be in an icky place, struggling a little bit. You saw that in the WGL winter procedure of the tournament as well. No Night Elves left anymore in the final stages. Strong players, Moon, Lawlight, they all dropped out, weren't able to qualify for the playoffs. Pretty rough.
Yeah, about half a year ago, Lin, who is still in WGL, he said that Moon is going to have a tough time in this patch, 131. Just yesterday, Lin said that he thinks human is the best right now, then elf, then
it's funny
orc.
Because he beats all the humans.
Yeah, I know, but through hard work.
And
then finally Undead being weakest. And when Remo quizzed him on the Night Elf's second, or it was either second or third, like Night Elf's position being better than Undead, he's like, yeah, I think they only struggle against human, but their keeper against Orc is very, very strong, and against Undead, they're doing very fine as well. Other people, they put Night Elf as maybe right now the weakest, but most people agree it's not by a large margin. A few percentages here and there, nothing you cannot overcome with hard work and practice.
Definitely true. I mean, it's not like it's an auto win or an auto loss. There's definitely, a lot of stuff that Night Elves can do. I think them especially have really, they need to be creative. They need to be adjusting as well. They can choose several heroes. We see on certain maps like Tyrannistan, we see the Mountain King Warden matchup, legendary, a lot of fun. a lot of high-action hero focus going on. And as you said, Grubby, Demon Hunter, perfectly playable. We have some neutral hero openings sometimes, you know. There's definitely a lot of stuff that can be done. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here in game number 1 between LiiLD.C and CrunCher. A very hype matchup. It's back EU versus NA. We haven't had that since a long time, I would say. Hitman might have been our last NA representative, right?
I think you're right. We had Hunter, not exactly NA, but A. So we had A Hunter, and then we had Hitman, and since then a really long break. Oh, we did have HDRT
and Kiwi.
Yeah, and Kiwi, and there was this other human player, Priest.
Priest and Pride.
So we've had 5 American participants in maybe 15 fight nights, which, well, I think 10, 11 Europeans. The math should be quite obvious now.
we went a little Russian over the last couple of weeks, you know, with ShaDai coming in, Death Note. We had Natepo, of course. A lot of Russians, and they are a powerhouse nation, of course, in Warcraft 3 still.
Thorzane, who is a fellow Swede and is watching LiiLD.C, his boy LiiLD.C here, he has just bet 1 million pecans on LiiLD.C. Let me see if I can take that bet, because I think it's going to be CrunCher. I got maybe 20. I've got you for 20, Thorzane. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I haven't seen chat this unruly, you know, and this agitated when it came to predicting the winner. There's a lot of local pride, a lot of comradeship as well, you know, a lot of Swedes in here. You mentioned Thorzane. I'm pretty sure, you know, Star-Shaped and all the other boys are going to watch. Knopf maybe somewhere if he's still awake on DreamHack Winter, you know.
Yeah, presumably cheering for CrunCher. We've got OC here watching.
Nice.
The Night Elf extraordinaire with Mass Huntresses. We see Hitman here, fresh back from China, I presume.
Oh, that's true.
Or maybe still in China for WGL. It's not like he knew that he was not going to make it to the playoffs and then made a short flight ticket. Like, you plan for the best, and generally in esports they don't just change your ticket. So hope you're having a good time there, man.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Really enjoyed the games. Really close ones, actually. Especially, I think it was against 1-0. Very, very good games, actually. Very good games.
Oh, CrunCher lost the militia to a Tuskar Trapper. Took some damage on this footman as well. But
the nerves.
Yeah.
All right. And we see an early creep attempt here at the natural. Keeper, by the way, is the choice. Of course, we forgot to mention the Keeper, or I forgot to mention it. Still a very playable hero, you know, not as super oppressive as he used to be at the beginning of 1.30. He did take some hits, some nerves, and the Footman Scout coming through there as well. The overlay is working, by the way. That's good news, guys. We had a little bit of a hiccup 2 weeks ago, but now everything is back to normal. Something that we also want to mention as we check out the early harassment coming in from CrunCher, by the way, level 2 for the Keeper, finds the ring there as well and has now access to Entangle. And Entangle, especially when there's a little bit of Treant and Archer support, is a very dangerous tool to kill the footies, but nice deny coming in from CrunCher, showing his micro expertise and is not really letting any unnecessary experience going over to his opponent.
Pretty sick, actually, to get Ring of Regeneration. Not the item that you most expect to want to have as a Keeper, but with the damage that a Keeper generally takes from Archmage, Focus Fire, and auto attacks, that's pretty sweet. Now, here comes that dreaded human harassment on the Wisps. How good will LiiLD.C's control be? 2 Wisps ready to get into the mine. There they go.
Nice.
Being made free. 2 more Wisps getting hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. He may actually consider using some of those Wisps to deal with the Water Elementals. There's 2 at the moment in the Night Elfin base. Loses 1 Wisp, couldn't detonate or shuffle it in next to a Moonwell. So the Archer now in trouble. This is very hectic, very stressful for the Night Elf player because there's so much pressure. The Moonwells are completely empty. Drops another Entangle, and the Footy dies. Very nicely done. Meanwhile, the Archer runs for her life, but pretty solid defense here. Only losing 1 Wisp so far. Another one might be in jeopardy. Saves that one for sure.
Really, really sick. He's also got 3 Wisps at the expansion. Only a single Wisp lost, as you said. There we go with the second Wisp. No detonate. 3rd Wisp now going down. It's starting to come apart a little bit at the seams. 3 Wisps dead, and there's just too many units in the base for LiiLD.C to manage the chaos so far.
But really nice item find here, by the way, in this heated early stage of the game, the Ring of Regeneration. I think that's a really good item, especially when Moon Juice is low in the Night Elfin base. Really keeps the Keeper online to help defend a little bit. Drops the last couple of couple of Moonwell juice here into his possession. But now, what is LiiLD.C going to do here? He builds a Moonwell actually at the natural because he realizes if he builds it in his main, the Footies and the Archmage are a serious threat, that this one might not even go down. So very nice awareness here by LiiLD.C. Keeps producing archers as well, so the tech is coming through. Almost done here. Tier 2 for the Night Elf player, and the human CrunCher was successful. Could have been successful, but could have also been, of course, less efficient. So good stuff for him. Has now the boots, and Grubby, man, I gotta tell you, the boots management, you know, the micro, the auto attack, the stutter stepping coming in from human players these days is very good on Archmages.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. And CrunCher so far, he has had a big investment into this. 7 footmen total, maybe 8, and he's lost.
Yeah.
No, I think maybe 9 footmen actually, because he has 6 alive, 3 were sent back hurt, and maybe 2 to 3 were lost. So really, really big investment, but it has paid off in big lumber cost for LiiLD.C. Where are the Ancient of Lores? They are not being made yet. That's how late they are. Comes in here again. Is this too much, or is this all part of the same plan? It really depends whether CrunCher will be able to delay LiiLD.C from creeping to keep that Alchemist level 1, and maybe even getting another cancel on the Ancients of Lore. He's looking to go in here. Nearly level 3 Archmage. Not quite yet, though.
And now we have the infamous Keeper Alki combo online, you know, really proving to be quite the obstacle now for the Footies, especially when there's decent archer numbers. By the way, CrunCher was really multitasking like a madman. However, he still lost 1 militia to the green camp next to his base. So those are all, you know, a little, how should I say, a little bit of a micro overwhelming here. A little bit annoying whenever that happens. However, now it looks like LiiLD.C is very much in control of this situation here. But as you said, where are the tech buildings? Now he's building the first Ancient of Lore in his main base. Where is the second one? He's only going for 1 lore, it seems, up to this point. No, second one coming in. And of course, this is now the way for Dryads and Bears. Do you think Mountain Giants are still an option here these days?
It's going to be straight Bears or 1 Dryad with Abolish into Bears. And Mountain Giants won't come into play until maybe after 3 to 4 Bears. You stabilize on 50 food with Roar and Rejuvenation when they still help, before Dispel, before Spellbreakers. And it's only once they get too many breakers and too much of another good army, you start pulling up food on 50 food and started to crank out Mountain Giants. Rushing them is generally too difficult. He goes with that first Dryad. Push here from LiiLD.C. No creeping at all with Alchemist. First, it was CrunCher that delayed him. But now, it's LiiLD.C himself that makes this choice, and this could hurt. He cannot take on this army.
There goes the Stormbolt in the face of the Alchemist. Is he going to get surrounded? For now, he is not. And LiiLD.C, he's not panicking. He's not running away with everything he's got. He's actually turning it around and uses the momentum, the attention that his opponent was putting in all the Alchemists to retaliate and try to get some footies. However, archers are falling. 2 down already for only 1 footy. And now the Keeper needs to be careful. Catches another Stormbolt and is likely going to get surrounded here.
He's free.
Has
He's
no
free.
step. No, it's not safe. It's not closed in. He swiggles and squeezes his way out of that surround. Is there another Stormbolt coming in? No. The Mountain King is dry for now. Is he going to use that TP just to get the Rifleman? He lost it.
LiiLD.C was managing 3 directions of the wind. North, west, and south. 3 archers from below, Alchemist from the left, Keeper from the top, taking fire, focusing on that rifle, and tunnel visioned. No zoomed out view for LiiLD.C. Classical view here on Warcraft 3, and he simply did not see it. Losing the Keeper of the Grove without using his Town Portal scroll is painful. More so, losing all those archers. He started out with 6. He attacked. Has 2 now. What did he kill? A rifleman? Slowing
Not
down
even sure if he
human
got
a
that
bit?
one because there were priests nearby, so... Yeah,
He got 1 rifle before.
Yeah, 1 rifle before, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
very
now he
big
can't
losses now. Very big losses. He finds a lightning shield here. However, the Alchemist is so close once again. And look how confident CrunCher is. He knows exactly, without the Keeper, there's no pressure. His Archmage can basically go haywire onto those Night Elven units here. And what is the rest of his army doing? He's split creeping right now. The CrunCher, you know, is really crunching it up here. Very crisp play. The Mountain King now needs to be put to level 3 as fast as possible for even greater hero focus control. He finds one of the best items in the game, in my opinion, the Wand of the Wind. So yeah, basically can now surround units whenever he wants to. If there's a hero that gets dangerous, you put him into his place.
And Wand of the Wind, of course, can get Abolish Magic away by Dryads, which makes it a little bit less good. But if you can take out the Dryads first, he might just sell it, though. We'll see. For now, he's holding on to it. He doesn't know if Abolish is there yet. Maybe we'll use one charge exploratorily, or maybe to interrupt heal spray or something. Bears are coming out now for LiiLD.C.
Yeah, and he needs a lot of those, man. If the Bears don't reach or don't get there in time, you know, the rifle numbers can get out of control. And what's so bad for LiiLD.C is the fact that his keeper is so underleveled, right, Grubby? We say this so many times. The keeper, he loses value the longer the game goes. In the late game, he's no real threat anymore. So the early momentum, the snowballing effect of this hero has been greatly diminished. And look at this, CrunCher. Seems like he's smelling his opponent, LiiLD.C. He sees the Archer and the Druids right now with the Mountain King, and he knows exactly where his opponent is. But even that doesn't scare him at all. He's confident and says, I'm going to take that creep camp, and you can't stop me because my heroes are stronger, my army is stronger, so what you going to do about it? But LiiLD.C takes a very risky gamble.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like you said, he is showing that he's starting a creep camp to LiiLD.C because he knows he cannot be stopped. And he has also pushed LiiLD.C around the map until he knows that he has not left LiiLD.C a valid alternative to creep. And so LiiLD.C, he has to answer this bluff and say, okay, I will take this camp. You don't think it's a valid camp? Oh, no, he didn't give the TP to the Alchemist. He does get Brilliance Aura and a Militia, but he said, you don't think this is valid? I'm going to do it anyway. The thing that's not expected. Problem is, CrunCher calculated that this will take LiiLD.C too long with the paltry army that he had, and comes in here with the Creepjack, getting an Archer, an Alchemist, and a TP. LiiLD.C, desperate, is forced to make a big play. Goes for the top left camp, the same Magnetar Reaver. And CrunCher, either he could try to smell it out and go straight there, or he procedurally takes the creeping around the map, that which is nearest, and says, I'll take this, and then we'll see. Still waiting for my tier 3 tech to kick in. Inner Fire coming out. Paladin coming out. Thing is, though, he's going to have to make it all the way across the map after this, because LiiLD.C has 5 orange camps in his vicinity. 4 and 1 red one. So there's no way that CrunCher can let that happen. It's either a direct surgical strike on the main base, or trying to carve out a piece of the top left of the map.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it before, Grubby. There were so many things to do. The keeper couldn't hand over the TP, of course, because he was busy picking up that sweet item. Khadgar's Pipe of Insight could be a big one, of course.
Whoa.
Now the ores are even, and he finds the Warsong Battle Drums, 2 of the best items he could have possibly hoped for in these red camps. So is that maybe a glimmer of hope on the horizon now for the Night Elf player with 2 sick auras to really get back into this game? The gods of RNG are so far with LiiLD.C.
Now LiiLD.C has a Wisp here, so he knows he's not being stabbed in the back from the top left. He's got Ultra Vision completed for sure, so he's got a better vision than the human right now, than CrunCher. But with his upgrades at 1-1, I don't know if he has what it takes to take out Inner Fire and Paladin Priests.
Yeah, here he comes. Here. Could go for the Creepjack, but no, he's not confident enough yet. One thing, though, that we can definitely say, you know, CrunCher with that early, strong lead that he was able to build up for himself here, he gave LiiLD.C a little bit of time, you know, to rebuild his army. Bears are now in order. 3, I think 4 actually at a time when the last one comes out of the base that he was just staffed to. And, you know, Inner Fire is going to be a problem, that's for sure. So he needs Wisps. Wisps need to be part of this moving army now as much as possible. Of course, when you fight in your own base, that's a little bit easier than otherwise, but I feel like Mass Dispel is so much in order right now.
Yeah, problem is, priests now have 400 mana, really high mana regeneration, and you need 8 wisps to empty their mana. LiiLD.C right now has 11, 6 on lumber, 5 in gold. You never touch those, so he's got 11 wisps. And you also need a bank of lumber in order to use that many wisps. So basically, LiiLD.C with his paltry level 4 alchemist and his keeper spells that can all get dispelled easily by the priest has to make magic happen. We've been in this situation before in Warcraft 3. There's 2 camps left which CrunCher is getting. He's got a Scroll of Town Portal. I'd say the game is 98% favored for CrunCher at this time. LiiLD.C, he's trying to do some kind of hit and run magic. CrunCher, he's already ready for that. 1 Arcane Tower, nice wall off. And he's really just taking as many creeps as he can before being forced to come home.
And that's the thing as well. CrunCher, you know, he's building up a second base on the bottom right. And if LiiLD.C were to bring an armada of Wisps, detonates them all in the backline, he could just retreat, you know, with the Archmage Brilliance Aura. He gets that mana back very quickly. So it's a really tight situation for LiiLD.C right now. He's forcing the fight before CrunCher's economy will spiral out of control. And he's trying to take that fight into the base of the human. Here comes a TP. Keeper a little bit in trouble. Might get storm-bolted here. Nice location, and the Keeper is completely isolated. Has a TP though, but the Keeper is not of interest. He wants to get those bears. Juicy bears, expensive units, and a chunk of XP, excuse me, coming in for the Mountain King and the Paladin.
Keeper, in the meantime, ignoring the Mountain King. Only one Staff of Preservation on LiiLD.C's hero, so he actually cannot staff the bear that just died. His Keeper kills a bunch of peasants, count about 3 corpses or so.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not enough for the bear that he lost, the TP that he lost.
Yeah. And there's no second base for LiiLD.C. He is all in on this attack. Maybe not on this one, but on the next one for sure, because the human is going to overpower him. I mean, he's already looking rock solid, CrunCher that is. But yeah, this is going a little bit haywire right now. He checks if the Night Elf was trying to build an expansion behind that attack, which is normally something a lot of players do. But now he goes for the Wisp, Stormbolts 1 before it detonates and sucks the mana away from the hero anyways. And LiiLD.C, let's recap on what is left of his puny army. 3 Dryads, 3 Bears, 2 Mountain Giants now joining the fray, though. Those are going to be some solid meat shields here.
Yeah, he had been upgrading the Mountain Giants at 50 food. He's making Dryads behind this, perhaps feeling he doesn't have enough Dispel to deal with the Inner Fire and the Water Elementals. And also, he doesn't have that much money. He's waiting for that Moonwell to finish, and then 2 Dryads extra. Upgrades, pretty good. 2-2, very good actually. 2 Mountain Giants, Bears, and Dryads against 2 Zero Rifles. The only thing in this game that he is ahead in. CrunCher also has an expansion at the bottom right, so time is not on LiiLD.C's side, contrary to what he might be thinking.
Definitely not. And I like what CrunCher was doing. He's very proactive on the map. You know, he sent a Water Elemental to the top left location, to the gold mine, just to see, you know, if LiiLD.C is trying something sneaky, something fishy to potentially come back into this game. But now he knows that the Night Elf is still a 1 base. Now he knows that there's likely going to be an all-in attack now with these MGs, with a couple of Dryads and Tau as well. And CrunCher, he's well prepared. He has so many priests in there. The Inner Fire, as you said, Grubby, will be spread nicely. Sorceress is now in the match as well, because he knows that with a puny number, with a low number of Dryads, there won't be an infinity of Dispels anymore. So I think slow will definitely be an effect coming into here. And let's look at the items here. Mountain King very well prepared for this fight. Has a Scroll of Healing, has an Invul. He looks good with 2 talismans, actually, 2 Pendants of Energies. This guy will never go dry anytime soon.
600 mana. He does have Bolt and Clap to play with, so
Yeah.
it goes pretty fast at that rate. A lot of Dryads coming in for LiiLD.C. Full 1 base production, kind of Undead-esque playstyle. Even though an opponent might have an expansion, save up as much units as you can at and until 80 food, and you may win that 1 fight. You may have a bigger army than your opponent because they invested in the expansion and because they have more peasants on the field. LiiLD.C moving out. No TP. Will get stabbed at the back. That Moonwell dies. That means this army is what he has to win with.
All right, here we go. The Night Elf tries to defend LiiLD.C in position. Mountain Giants first. That is how he wants it to do. But the Mountain Giants are currently body blocked in the back. The slow from the Mountain King doesn't help here. Really good looking fight. Let's take a look at the items here. Alchemist in the focus fire. Has a big invul. Gets staffed first though. Doesn't have to use the item just now. But look at the positioning now. Mountain Giants in place. Bears holding the front line as well. 1 goes down. Staff is on cooldown. And Blizzard is doing absolute work right here. LiiLD.C's Alchemist is trying the best he can to use Heal Spray to keep these fellas alive, but everything is untouched for the human player. CrunCher doesn't break any sweat right now. Mountain Giant looking good. Frontline with Knights looking good. And I think the human is really just trying to squeeze it out. Keep in mind, he's on 2 bases, guys. Even if he loses units, those can be quickly reproduced.
MK's out of mana, and
Yeah.
LiiLD.C did lose 1 Dryad?
There's actually way more Dryads than I thought there would be.
And really well upgraded Dryads. There are no Mortar teams. There are Knights. Wisp detonates were really good, but those priests are going to get back their mana super fast. The only gold mine that LiiLD.C didn't know anything about is bottom right. I'm not sure that he has discovered it yet. Throughout all of that, Keeper with full mana. I suppose that he didn't think it's useful to cast any spells, considering there are so many priests on the other side. And now MK, he was from 600 mana to empty, and now
Yeah.
he's well over halfway again. Pretty sick.
Pretty crazy. I mean, he probably took some detonates to the face, but he used a lot of mana. Now he's using an invisible scouting footman to see if LiiLD.C wants to go for another pressure attack. But yeah, we gotta give credit to LiiLD.C. This fight actually went way better than I thought it would. He saved a lot of bears. The mountain giants are nice and refilled now. And, you know, the heroes were doing a little bit of work. He forced not only a lot of mana out of the Mountain King, but also a lot of items. Scroll of Healing gone, you know, the Invul gone. So this could have definitely gone very bad, much worse for LiiLD.C if he hadn't played so well there with his wisps.
Does he have more wisps? 2
One,
are
two.
here. We have a third wisp coming, and a fourth also. Clap will take them down to just 6 life.
Okay, the Mountain King,
big
did he
damage
bite
on
off
Mountain
more
King.
than he could chew? Look at that sweet tree micro here. The Treant's actually blocking the way for the
Mountain
MK.
King!
Has no protective item, has to be staffed out. And without the main carry damage machine, this army of CrunCher looks
TP!
very much defenseless and helpless. He TPs to safety, pieces out, and this could be a dead expansion. LiiLD.C from one base, the man is somehow doing what many people didn't think it was possible in this game, including myself. I thought this would be CrunCher's game 100%, but the Mountain Giants and the Bears are holding the front line and telling CrunCher, not so fast. Night Elf is still in this.
Are giants better than kings? Mountain giants beating the Mountain King here. But obviously this was a case of epic mispositioning by CrunCher.
Yeah.
Mountain King at the front, no Holy Light. Not one of his healing potions on the Paladin was on the Mountain King. Invis was late, Dispel was late. This is not the fight that CrunCher wanted. And normally I'd say, you know, whatever. You had all these advantages for so long. Your hero levels, your items. But suddenly, despite his really, really good hero levels, Archmage 4, Pala 2, MK 4, all of his heroes are halfway to leveling up, but they are not yet. And without Mortars, he cannot easily get a lot of experience on those Dryad kills. But there is the first Mortar team. In comes the second. Good upgrades also. And that will suddenly make it very difficult for LiiLD.C to take a relevant fight. Because his Dryads will need to be tiptoeing and dancing around to dodge those Mortar fragmentation shells.
Absolutely, Grubby. And now we see shop control for LiiLD.C looking really good next to the Goblin Merchant. He buys 2 Scrolls of Healings, and those are especially for the Dryads, I feel. The Dryads, when they take too many shots of those rifles, and especially the mortars, they will have to be kept alive at any cost. They're the primary source of Dispel. Very important, but look at that front line. Full HP, even an Archer leading the charge there as well. The Mountain Giants now with big battle sticks, trying to be, of course, the front line. Very good against casters too. If those Mountain Giants hit the priests, hit the sorceresses, they're going to be dealing tremendous damage. Now, the mobile Dryads in the front, trying to be a little bit of a recon unit here. Let's see what the heroes have. No protection on either the Keeper. The Alchemist, of course, has a big invul still. 2 healing scrolls as well. And now it's all about finding the right angle. And most importantly, Grubby, finding a good fighting location. The more open the battlefield, the better, I think, for the Night Elf.
I would agree. I would agree, Kendric. But there's one really big thing. Oh, what? Oh, the reveal. He realized Mountain King's absence means that Mountain King is invisible. So he used the reveal at the lab for 50 gold. In the meantime, Tree of Eternity is moving to the natural expansion where LiiLD.C will be looking to gain a little bit of income again. That does mean that every Staff of Preservation does not get his heroes, his units to safety and the hugging warm embrace of the Moonwells, that healing safety net. One more thing, Invis Mountain King could do a clap blizzard on all the wisps and delete them instantly. This is going to be a big deal, but he doesn't. He goes for the clap on the bears and the fight has broken out in all earnest.
The Mountain Giants have superior range now because they're catching or they're wearing and wielding those trees. So it doesn't really matter if they're not in the really thick of things here. But now this is where armies are clashing. The bears are taking so much damage. Rejuvenation is not getting dispelled by those priests. They're completely dry. Look at the mana on the priests. They're only healing so far. Normal dispel magic. One bear falls. The other one got stuffed out. Double level up for the human heroes right now. Let's see what LiiLD.C can do. He needs to buy a little bit of time. His Tree of Eternity, as Grubby said, is marching to become a secondary base of income. Uther, the Paladin, is now being focused really hard right now, but doesn't fall. The Blizzard is hammering in, and the Dryads, they need to be hit and running because of those mortars in the backline. This could really be the breaking point for CrunCher to finally take down the Night Elf opponent. Another hero focus attack coming in from LiiLD.C. When in doubt, try to focus heroes. It won't work this time. The Holy Light, too strong, level 5 MK, and so much has fallen for LiiLD.C.
Mortar's finally on the field with Inner Fire and 2 attack upgrades, and CrunCher dominates the fight with 78 food left against just 39. Such a paltry force LiiLD.C's army finally proved to be once Mortar teams were added. CrunCher took a great early game start, sacrificed some footmen, harassed a lot of wisps, controlled the game, out-leveled LiiLD.C, outmaneuvered, out-crept, out-killed, out-expanded, and then through blunders of his own, nearly seemed to be giving it away, but he rallied. Pretty was it not, but a dominant first game victory it does seem to be here against this Swede in LiiLD.C.
Absolutely true. LiiLD.C is on the ropes right now. He has one more chance to perhaps do the impossible and try to keep the human from his Tree of Eternity. A lot of hero focus now onto the Paladin, who's running for his life. Didn't have any protective items, but the bears are falling. When you try too hard to focus on the enemy heroes, you might lose units in the process here. Tries to go for an entangle. Every unit matters. Now the same is true for CrunCher. He does no longer have a 2-base income. No income anymore. And with that Stormbolt and the likely following surround, the game is over. And the human player from NA, CrunCher, Grubby, he takes game 1.
Yeah, very nicely played by CrunCher. This was even on an EU host, which alternates, so no discomfort there for him whatsoever. LiiLD.C going with the Keeper of the Grove, which is a bold move these days. Keeper, very dispellable, all of his spells. Really popular for...
Especially when you lose him early.
Especially when you lose him early. Yeah, I mean, however you want to turn it, LiiLD.C had some good fights. With his mass dryads, his mass upgrades. He definitely played it cool, but he put himself in such a bad early position. Keeper is not the problem here. He may not be as popular at the highest levels of play right now. We see more Demon Hunter, we see some Warden, but none of it is truly reliably working, more than 50% of the time or even near it. Any of these heroes are fine. Tavern heroes first as well. The execution matters. CrunCher outshone LiiLD.C in the execution. LiiLD.C losing that Keeper, 4 archers for basically nothing, and that wasn't very clean.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think the fact that you lose such a snowball-dependent hero, such an early pressure machine like the Keeper of the Grove, you need that hero to be effective early on. Creep him up to level 3, preferably very, very fast for stronger harass, but when you lose him, you lose your momentum, you lose your stride, and that really opened up the map for CrunCher as well. He could take the sweetest creep spots. His Mountain King was actually coming in very early. He was able to creep that one up as freely as possible. So yeah, a little bit of a micro misplay for LiiLD.C, but still, you could really see his prowess and his expertise in that one team fight, in that one fight where, next to his base, he microed his dryads very well. And it was a lot tighter, I want to say, than I thought it would be at the end.
Yeah, LiiLD.C played a solid economy game on one base. Upkeep management game, and that was a nice skill that he showed. Positionally, he did quite well, maybe slightly better than CrunCher on the whole, but he had more big fatal errors than CrunCher. Overall, those mistakes get ironed out when you play against really, really good players. CrunCher didn't have nearly as many of them, looked really clean. I personally haven't seen him compete a lot. I've seen one replay from him this year, and it looked really, really good. Makes me wonder, where does he practice? Do you know if he practices with the Americans as well? With the Asians?
So when I asked CrunCher this question, because he did tell me that he wanted to scrim a lot, he wanted to prepare really well for this upcoming fight, and he takes it very seriously, actually. I asked him, so can you tell me some names, who are your practice partners? And he was like, no, I can't tell yet. So maybe after this series is over, he can tell us in hindsight who he practiced with. But as you said, Grubby, it looked very clean. Despite losing a militia here and there, or in footy, of course, the late game execution from CrunCher, and especially how patient he was, I think really showed that he was in control of the game for the majority of it.
Yeah, gotta respect a pro... defending the secrecy of his sources as well. Especially, it may be their wish. Sometimes you practice with someone and it's like, okay, I don't want everyone to know.
Yeah.
But it can also just be to protect his own aura of mystery. The less people know about you, the less they know who you practice with, the less they know what you're prepared for. They may underestimate you.
Very true. All right, guys, here we go. Game number 2. Concealed Hill, a map that I personally like a lot. You know, you have a lot of action with high contested creep camps in the middle. Most importantly, the dragons on the left and right-hand side as well. Very cool to always see which items, you know, are going to roll on the table. RNG always being a factor in Warcraft 3. And LiiLD.C, he's switching it up, man. The Demon Hunter coming through now. It's a little bit of a mind game, isn't it, Grubby, when you play Night Elf versus Human? Is he going to go MK first? Is he going to go Archmage first? And depending on which hero you expect, maybe, the Demon Hunter, for example, would be a perfect choice against Mountain King first. So it's really cool to see these players try to guess what their opponents are going to do.
And I think there is a good reason for why LiiLD.C is making these hero first picks based on the map. Northern Isles is very typical for a human player when they see the Demon Hunter to immediately creep and fast expand their natural expansion without doing any other creep camps first. And that's kind of the meta right now at the pro play. When LiiLD.C was practicing, he most likely ran into this situation and decided he doesn't like that. He wonders maybe if humans have become so comfortable that they're doing that regardless.
Yeah.
Simply expecting the Demon Hunter. And maybe for that reason he figured, I'll go Keeper, I'm going to creep my own natural very fast, and then I'm going to harass the peasants on the other side. It's possible that that was his thought process, but on Concealed Hill it's very different. This is one of the most difficult camps to creep, the natural expansion in the corner. And as such, even a Demon Hunter may not get dominated by a fast expansion.
Yeah. Really cool attempt here, by the way, by CrunCher, you know, sending a single footy into the base of the Night Elf, trying to find some innocent wisps, but LiiLD.C was paying attention and saved that one in the gold mine. Very nicely done here by him. And yeah, so it's really LiiLD.C's choice now to be efficient with a hero, you know. Demon Hunter, I feel like oftentimes Night Elf players, they overdo it with harass and they forget about leveling the Demon Hunter in the process.
Yeah.
Level 3, very important for the 2 mana burn. So let's not overdo it if you're a LiiLD.C here.
I agree with you there, Kendric. You come in with your Demon Hunter, and before you would mana burn the useless Archmage a bunch of times. He would run away from you, you click him. Things changed at some point. Humans don't really respect the Demon Hunter harass anymore. They don't really care about it. They just take all of their footies, their Archmage, they unload focus fire on the Demon Hunter. And before you know it, you've got a half-life Demon Hunter running around, having done a few mana burns, and Archmage doesn't really care. Here comes that trademark harass from CrunCher again. Heavy 30 food footman aggression while teching up, while eventually getting a blacksmith. And the worst part for LiiLD.C, the best part for CrunCher, he can send all of the hurt footmen to the healing fountain, heal for free, and come back again. So this is a large sustained attack potentially. Wisps being lost already at the bottom left at the gold mine.
Yeah, this is a really good point you brought up there, Grubby. The unique mechanic on this map, Concealed Hill, the 2 healing fountains, the 2 healing wells, really allow for early harassment, you know? Even if it doesn't go well, even if your units are taking a lot of damage in the process, you just put them in there during nighttime, and your footies are going to be back to good in no time here. Look at the footman spread as well. The Archmage now helping this footman on the right-hand side as well to go wisp hunting. And if he gets a couple of those, level 3 is going to get a nice chunk closer. Has to detonate one here, LiiLD.C that is. Is he going to detonate another one? The attack goes through, lucky roll, and Archmage gets another kill. Very nicely done here. In the meantime, you know, the main attack was deflected, but still a little bit of damage done on the side of LiiLD.C. His tech is almost finished though, so he can rebuild those wisps if he needs to.
Yeah, I think LiiLD.C is down to 6 lumber wisps. Night Elf needs 9, so he lost about 3 to 4. He lost another wisp to 3 footies somewhere in the middle right quadrant of the map. So that was very effective for CrunCher. Let's see, he's got 4 footies, 5. He's 28 food. I don't know if he remade any footies, but
They lost one in the middle to the Demon Hunter too.
Okay, so he lost 1 or 2 max footies for like 3-4 wisps. Really effective.
Very true. Now, the Demon Hunter got a little bit of swag here as well, has the movement speed boots as well, is a very fast combatant now, and tries to maybe catch some more of these hurt footies. He gets another one for his efforts. Really nice. That's definitely weakening the early game pressure a little bit, and that makes 3 lost footies in total now, if we count it correctly. And let's see what CrunCher is going to respond here with. Neither of the heroes is level 3 yet. All have been, especially CrunCher has been focusing more on dealing damage on the wisps, trying to harass the units as well, and not really, you know, go creeping on the map, try to buff up his Archmage this way. So let's see if this pays off in the long run here.
Yeah, meantime, Naga, Sea Witch is picked up. 5 archers remain on the field. Naga now coming in with the frost arrows. There is defend upgrade. He uses it greedily, immediately, while saving his archers to the Moonwells. Double Ancient of Lore, a departure from what we see from LiiLD.C for the most part. Oh, nice deny by CrunCher on his own footy. But
yeah, and I feel like the Naga is a very high-pressure hero choice, you know? Really tries to punish the aggression for the footies.
He hasn't really been able to do that. I was wondering if he would just take his Naga and archers and go straight to the main base of CrunCher, maybe harass some peasants, though it is risky with that building positioning. You can be walled in. But he just kind of went all the way around the map, killed 1 footy, and is now here. And this is the new meta coming out of China as well. The Chinese humans, TH, Infi. They run Blood Mage second, Siphon Mana. Feels a little weak right now, but gets quite strong at the mid-game.
Yeah, and the Naga is a fairly good hero for that, though, isn't it, Grubby? Because she's not, you know, as mana dependent. She will always have a couple of arrows here and there. So imagine he had gone for a Panda second or something else that requires a little bit more mana to cast the powerful spells. I think this would have hurt him a little bit more, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true. These are the 2 most okay heroes against Blood Mage, and despite that, Blood Mage is still good. Now, what is good for LiiLD.C? Archmage didn't get level 3. Typically, when you see Blood Mage second, the human has somehow succeeded to get Archmage 3, which means he can spam level 2 Water Elementals. Spam, he still will, but it's only Water Elemental level 1.
Players' forces are under attack.
And now we see a little bit of creeping finally for CrunCher. His aggression has slowed down. He's really seeing that his heroes, especially the Archmage, they need some level up, using both heroes for the Goblin Laboratory Camp. And his opponent, LiiLD.C, he's doing the exact same thing. Tries to go for the Goblin Merchant. And the item we can see here, Watcher Wards, Sentry Wards. Pretty good item if you want to keep your... I feel like especially on this map, Sentry Wards are so good to keep those big creep camps in check.
Especially the Ogre Lords in the middle.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. LiiLD.C has not remade Wisps much during all this. He teched to tier 3 with 6 Wisps. He double Lord before tier 3, but then went Dryads. And... well, typically you want quick Orb of Venom, you want quick Bear, but he doesn't have much lumber. Like right now he's working on his Bear upgrades, but I think he won't even be able to get enough Bears in Master Training. So he's not in a good spot right now, no Orb of Venom yet, and still taking the fight against this Blood Mage. Will he wake up the creeps, or is he too slow with that Demon Hunter?
Looks like the human says no, and CrunCher, the gatekeeper, he doesn't let the Night Elf player go through to really help, or to let the creeps help him in his endeavor. Instead, he forces LiiLD.C back with great focus fire on the bears. The Demon Hunter was very wounded as well. And here are some militias too, coming in from a different angle. And he's now waking up the Ogre Lord, the most powerful creep camp on this map with the most useful item, potentially, if it's an aura. Let's see what he's going to find. Oh, he finds the jackpot, Warsong Battle Drums. Ching ching. That is definitely the value he was looking for.
Yep, second best item that human can find here. Best one being Endurance Aura for Rifleman, move and attack speed. And then there's, of course, War Drums, this one, which is 10% damage. And then Unholy Aura would be really, really sweet as well. But he gets a really, really solid item here. Now he gets a free kill on a bear, not a Master Bear yet. Only just started, lack of lumber. And he cannot make another bear yet, cost 80 lumber.
This is a rough spot. This is a rough spot right now for LiiLD.C. Lost an archer. The icing on the cake really for CrunCher, finding 2 units. The Demon Hunter is still 2.5. Doesn't have the increased mana burn. He's completely mana burned himself right now. Has nothing left. That is, of course, the terror when you fight a Blood Mage that is continually draining the mana away from you. So many Wisps actually to save that Ancient of War, not only as an additional combatant in this fight, but also as a blocking zone here. But look at these Water Elementals, so much blocking themselves here. The Bears cannot reach the backline at all. The Naga gets a level up. Very useful. Now as an Orb of Venom as well for additional DPS in that fight. The Rifles and the casters completely untouched, and there's a tower building up in the back there as well. Maybe he's even going to build a shop next if he wants to prolong that siege.
No Fork Lightning by Naga. He has 130 mana. He could get siphoned again. He better use it first. Is he actually going to use it, or is he just auto-attacking with that Naga? In comes the mana burn. Blood Mage low. Any Fork? He gets the Fork, but Blood Mage still alive. 29 life.
Fork a little bit too late and not dealing enough damage in time there. The Demon Hunter also was body blocked by his own unit, so he couldn't pick up the chase. And this is now pretty much an all-in defense for LiiLD.C. If this defense line falls, the tower's going to finish, and then things are only going to get from bad to worse. He gets a level up on the Demon Hunter. Level 3, very important. 100 mana burn comes through on the Blood Mage, who's dangerously low in health. But now, Demon Hunter slowed. Footy block there as well for additional DPS. Shielded Footy actually being slower than a normal one, but still he manages to buy so much time. Has to detonate a Wisp to deal or to get rid of that slow from the Sorceress. And CrunCher, his towers are standing, or his tower is standing. Is he going to build more? The workers are getting a little bit deeper into the Night Elf base, and this is looking bad, looking grim for LiiLD.C.
Yeah, he's got no lumber, man. 54 lumber. He used 100% of his wisps on lumber. Nice snipe. Archmage, CrunCher, great job. GG, the nail in the coffin.
And a relatively quick nail, I want to say, Grubby. That was very clear and very clean and convincing from CrunCher. Looking very good. And LiiLD.C, man, he did pretty okay, I would say. You know, with the Demon Hunter, getting a lot of footmen, actually, the Naga, building up so much pressure. But where do you think was the turning point? Where was the breaking point of the Night Elf in this one?
So you're a Night Elf, let's say, and you get level 2, they get level 2, and both games so far you lost to the human, who did massive wisp attack. And you're trying to use double Moonwell, 1 or 2, 3 archers to defend. But every time you're finding yourself not being able to defend and hold out long enough for Naga Sea Witch to come out. LiiLD.C is a very methodical player. So he has the same build order every time. Humans, they change it up sometimes as well.
Yeah.
We see 2-foot tech, 3-foot tech. CrunCher, he's doing 5-6-foot tech. This is heavy pressure. I think LiiLD.C would need to recognize that and change up his own style. I'm reminded of this style that Starshaped did before, I believe also in the Fight Night. Triple Moonwell, Ancient of War in the main base, 3 archers before tech, gets you like 8 to 10 archers by the time you get to tier 2. And before Footman Defend comes out, suddenly you've got this tipping point of damage that just says, get the heck out of my base. You don't need to micro the wisps as well, but here's a downside. You don't have as many bears or dryads in your 50-foot army. But what's the point if you don't get there anyway? I think he would need to consider this.
And he needs to consider it quickly, Grubby. His last loser choice map is going to be Echo Isles, smallest map we have in the roster. And LiiLD.C, man, this is the first time, I feel like, in a long time that we actually had one of the players pull ahead 2-0. The previous ones, it was always 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, very close ones, especially against ShaDai 2 weeks ago. It was an epic match for LiiLD.C where he was ultimately in control, but now he feels, or he gets to know what it feels like to be, you know, with your back against the wall. At this point, by the way, guys, we wanted to highlight that we have a new bounty system in place right now. So if you want to support the players, if you want to support the prize pool for them, and also the production, you know, and feel free to contribute. It's no longer a Twitch bid system. Instead, we have normal donations to make it more accessible to people, because Twitch bids are not available in every country. So if you feel like supporting the format, if you feel like supporting the players, then feel free to drop $1 or here. We would be very appreciative of that.
And the bounty that players can win when they bow out before they get eliminated has also been increased by HeroesHearth 2.
That is true.
What was it, Kendric?
Made it a flat 500. So
Nice.
we basically rounded it up from the previous rounds and said, you know what, guys, with the new introduction of the bounty system, we're going to make it a flat 500. And anything that goes on top, of course, will be added. And I think right now the bounty is leaning towards 650. So if we can make that a reality, that would be super sick. And yeah, so this is basically all there is. Also, there is a YouTube channel that you can check out where all the VODs, all the videos and games of Fight Night are going to be landing at. Just type in !YouTube like Grubby did. Thank you, man. And I'm actually going to put the VOD up right after this broadcast. So if you came in late or you couldn't do it for future Fight Nights or past ones, you know, you check it out there.
Share the video with your friends if you think they'll enjoy this match. For now, though, we are on the precipice of LiiLD.C's 0-3 defeat, or on the beginning of the road of his comeback. 2-0 for CrunCher, and the third map is underway on Echo Isles. Let's jump right into it, Kendric.
And in we jump. Echo Isles, LiiLD.C, the Swedish hope, The Night Elven Hope is now in his last breath. Can he catch it? Can he stabilize again and recover his posture? Or is CrunCher going to be ice cold and take the win to back to NA, where it usually started, with very good players such as Hunter, Kiwi, those were the OGs of Fight Night, really. It started off as an only only NA tournament, and only later did we introduce some European players. But now, since the crown was abducted to Europe and has remained there for a long time, it looks like CrunCher may be the hero to bring it back once more.
And the strategy that he would use to get there is phenomenal indeed. Barracks first. Potentially the feared, dreaded Naga Sea Witch first. Mass Footman Tower Rush on Echo Isles. Cheesy. Unexpected. Ruthless. Meantime, LiiLD.C will make more archers than before, that's for sure. But he's doing it with an Ancient of War first build, also from the Tavern. Both of them are going to have a unit at the Tavern when the clock hits 14:40 game time. And at that moment, they're going to see exactly what the other player is planning. LiiLD.C, with the experience he has, the memory, he will recognize Naga first as a, for sure, tier 1 Tower Rush all-in with Militia, Footies, and Naga. So he will respond 100%. He won't underestimate it. In the meantime, CrunCher, I think you are quite fine being up against Tavern build when you go for this build. You are against more archers, which is probably the worst case scenario, actually. But a large part of it is LiiLD.C, what hero did he want to go, and what will he go now when he realizes what's up? Because normally it's Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger archers, you creep, blah, blah, blah. Will he still go Dark Ranger? Might be. Or it could be Panda first, Pitlord first, Tinker first. We shall see. It's about to go down in the center of the map.
There's a rumble near the tavern about to erupt here when both players try to go for the neutral heroes. The Footman sees the Wisp and the Wisp sees the Footman. What's it going to be? Naga first, like Grubby said. And here's a Dark Ranger coming in for LiiLD.C. And the two ladies clash in the middle. Some free damage now because of the frozen arrows dealing good damage. Footy number 2 coming in. Into the Murlocs. So much poison damage there as well now because of those Nightcrawlers dealing shady things. And, Wisp detonation. Very nice. But, yeah, this is already a heated battle. This is so cool. The militias are scouted.
Yeah, the militias are scouted. He's going to send them back. He realizes the amount of archers here. Not sure CrunCher fully was recognizing the fact that he was up against the Tavern hero with a lot of archers. He comes in now. We'll try to camp the Ancient of War maybe for the next archer. Maybe cancel a Moonwell, catch someone creeping. And this is rough. Footies do loads of damage on archers. And with Frost Arrow, they have trouble getting away. But the damage in return is big. Black Arrow doesn't add a lot of damage, just 2. But if it is part of a last hit, it will spawn a Dark Minion, a Skeletal warrior that does the bidding of Myra Shadewither, the Dark Ranger.
Probably there's a Troll Shadow Priest already in the mix for CrunCher, providing some early sustain. Pretty good. But yeah, as you said, I think LiiLD.C has defended this pretty well, He was definitely aware of the situation that there could be an early push, that there could be an early tower shenanigan strategy from CrunCher. And when you're CrunCher, you're leading 2-0. You're in a very comfortable position in this best of 5. Why not go for it? Why not try to catch your opponent off balance? But now, of course, so much tier 1. Is he still going to stick to it? Let's see. There's no tech coming. Mass Footies. He's going to try to brute force his way in, but LiiLD.C looks prepared. It's nighttime.
So I think the plan for CrunCher, besides trying not to lose any footmen, get all of his footmen to 100 life, pull them back, heal once with TP or otherwise.
Yeah.
Regeneration scroll, defend upgrade is on the way, and then come back with a vengeance. 10 footies, full life, defend upgrade, and tower. Maybe not a tower rush. No, we call this a brute force tower push. And I think that's the only way he's going to go, because he has not yet initiated his tech to tier 2. There's the shop.
In the meantime, we know that LiiLD.C's opponent is already teching. So protecting the Wisp there, very well done. Also bringing the Naga low really prevents...
LiiLD.C's opponent is teching. LiiLD.C is, yes. CrunCher
LiiLD.C, the Night Elf player, is teching. But yeah, dropping the Naga down into the red HP zone was very good, It takes a long time. The shop is not yet there. So it's definitely going to take a while for CrunCher to launch another assault here onto the Night Elven base. So Now, it is LiiLD.C who has a little bit of time spawning some lesser minions, darker lesser minions. That also means, of course, he can use them not only as a front line for further creeping, but also as scouting. You know, if there's more towers incoming or if there's another attack incoming, if there's a sudden change of strategy inbound for CrunCher. Lose an archer here, LiiLD.C, that is a little sloppy. That definitely shouldn't happen. But Huntress is in the mix now as well. Really good against the number of footies.
It's smart because archers get countered by piercing damage, deficit damage on defense, but
Nice
Huntress
save.
can... Thank you. I had to really do some gymnastics there. But Huntresses with normal damage can circumvent that problem. CrunCher, by the way, did not do a tower push. He said, there's many ways to roam, and I'm gonna take an expansion first.
Okay, the Wisp scouts it immediately though, so he knows exactly what's happening. Nice, cute attempt here to surround the Wisp with workers, but he squeezes his way out. And yeah, so the Wisp saw it. LiiLD.C knows he's taking a relatively risky camp here because of those Nightcrawlers spreading the poison onto every unit. With a little, you know, dark minions though, they can be distracted quite nicely. And here comes CrunCher from the left-hand side. He was flanking all around the map from the bottom. So hitting LiiLD.C from a little bit of an unexpected angle, but the number of dark minions is just way too high. There's no way the footmen can reach those archers, but the Naga is getting cheeky here. Gets the Shadow Priest with a nice Fork Lightning, and you know, with the boots, she's now a very dangerous combatant. But here we go. Hero focus onto LiiLD.C's Dark Ranger. Has 2 rings of protection though. These are definitely going to come in handy now.
Yeah, really useful. 12 armor. That's 42% damage reduction. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to tank with Ranger all day. My position isn't bad. Your focus fire is bad. Still surviving. Bringing back his archers. That's a Fork Lightning by the Naga. Dust as well. 1 archer goes down. 2nd archer taking fire from that footman. And he will get his mark. Aye, my lord. And we'll take out another archer as well.
Oh boy, heavy losses now for LiiLD.C. I don't think he even saw that the Dust of Appearance was used there. He kept his archers in Shadow Meld. Lose another mercenary. The Berserker now going down here. The Ancient of Lore, by the way, was building up the entire time in the middle next to the tavern. And of course, now he knows, with the Dark Ranger, the Huntress in the Peasant line, that this expansion is running and mining. And he's trying to deal a little bit of economic damage right now. Can he do it? Not only does this cripple CrunCher's income, but also provides some juicy, tasty experience on the Dark Ranger, who's getting close to 3.5.
Yeah, and unlike most times when a Night Elf is harassing an expansion, nothing really good is coming up behind this for CrunCher. There's no tech coming out yet, no riflemen. What you see is what you get. Defend footies against Huntress's double hero, and that's tough. Huntresses don't take a lot of damage from these footies. The Naga is dropping dangerously low, and there are, most importantly, no guard towers on the field yet. Nice focus fire though on the Naga Sea Witch by CrunCher, and he gets it, and he gets the experience as well.
He gets it. He transferred the TP over, trying to save his second hero, LiiLD.C's Naga, of course that is, but he didn't click it fast enough. However, in the meantime, more and more peasants are falling, and all these footies are dangerously hurt. This expansion proves to be a little bit of a liability for now, but no TP anymore, and he goes for the second. Oh, actually, he had it all the time.
Yeah,
never mind, I was wrong.
The Naga, no TP, but the Dark Ranger had it and will use it. No final victims were found by LiiLD.C. And in the meantime, how was his macro? Dryad comes out. Loads of Dryads queued up in production from this one lore. Oh, okay, I get it now. LiiLD.C is making Huntresses continually on purpose. This is the old Huntress Dryad tactic.
You know, his opponent is not tier 2 yet. His tech just started. Got delayed quite a bit here because of that expansion. But man, was actually good for him that he didn't transfer that TP onto the Naga, because that would have been the demise for his Dark Ranger too. And speaking of hero focus right now, the Naga of CrunCher needs to be a little bit careful. The healing was interrupted, but no heroes from LiiLD.C to, you know, strengthen the grip on the human hero for now. And,
guard tower,
more footies, though.
95%. These footies are staying here on purpose to distract, but LiiLD.C is not going to fall for it. He's going to try to take that tower down, but he is too late. Needs to now fall back and focus on the threat before him, the defense footies.
And of course, this one tower is such an obstacle now for the only unarmored units of the Night Elven player. Extra damage onto those Huntresses. He cannot afford to lose them. LiiLD.C's micro needs to be on fleek, as the cool kids would say these days. So let's see what he can do. The Dark Minions, by the way, now level 2, of course, blocks so much damage. But the tower line is getting bigger and better. The farm's actually trying to close a little bit of extra ground here to make this attack line as costly as possible for LiiLD.C. So many units now hurt, but the heroes are in good condition for LiiLD.C. Strong range damage coming through. Footy after Footy goes down, level 2 Naga. This is looking pretty okay, and he can now shift, of course, his attacks. The expansion is fortified, but what about the main base, Grubby?
Yeah, that's well, that's he does have a full wall off, but the tower is not finished yet. So skeletons can go there, but huntresses and dryads cannot.
Really good, and he finds that opening. The dryads, of course, provide superior mobility, and they're hunting down CrunCher's Naga. Oh, he actually had a nice flank coming in with his own Naga there. Slows him one more time. Can he get it? The shot comes through, and the kill is safe. Boom, down goes CrunCher's Naga, and he has now all the control in his hands, and he does it. LiiLD.C, man. Strong control and iron grip on this game. Keep him in the series. GG.
Yeah, nice job by LiiLD.C, easily defending the push from CrunCher that actually never fully materialized because it doesn't work that well against Tavern. Hero, too many archers. And OC, the country mate of CrunCher, he said, I knew it was going to be 3-1 for CrunCher because CrunCher would end up throwing one game. So maybe this was it.
That was great. I mean, such a nice game there. It's really cool to see that LiiLD.C does not go down without a fight. And who knows, man, perhaps he's now reinvigorated and on the way to the reverse sweep. Let's see if he can do it. It's going to be great. Of course, for those of you wondering, the way we're handling the host situation here with EU versus NA is that the loser gets a host of his region. So up until now, we've played on EU ping for LiiLD.C. But now things are going to not only turn out to be a little spicy in general, but also in terms of pings. CrunCher might now have a very comfortable zone in here.
Yeah, and the ping difference wasn't that big. It was 35 LiiLD.C, 140-ish.
Yeah.
I saw 110 in the lobby for CrunCher. It might be 110, 130, 140. It does matter, but you know, players need to forget about that and just do their best and have a good mindset. Now it's going to be the reverse. It's only fair. LiiLD.C just won the first map, and CrunCher gets to fall back on comfort. And he's built up this buffer. He gets to play 2 match points. Well, he only needs 1 win, and LiiLD.C needs a back-to-back victory. Next map will be Last Refuge.
And I really like the idea by CrunCher, you know, to go for this aggressive style, to maybe catch his opponent off guard. And I gotta say, you know, a lot of these players that we invite to Fight Night, they're not pro gamers, which means their only income of, you know, finances is playing Warcraft 3, although that would probably be the dream of many of them. So they all have jobs, you know, they all have different activities. So I'm very impressed by LiiLD.C, who oftentimes said he didn't have as much time to prepare as he would like to, that he saw the strategy coming, tried to counter it with his own neutral hero opening, and did so with great expertise, I would say. So despite not really being real full-time pro gamers, it still shows how much knowledge they have acquired over those weeks and months of play.
Yeah, and even the years before they took their break during SC2, during developing other
CrunCher
parts.
did play SC2, that's true.
Yeah, and LiiLD.C, I'm not sure he did, but I didn't hear from him for a long time. He was actively competing in 2008, 2009. He's back here now. Let's see. Altar first for both players.
That is true. No neutral hero shenanigans this time. That one will likely stick to Echo Isles only for now. So let's see. Are we going to see Archmage Mountain King? One of the two is likely going to be the choice for the human. And Grubby, this new Night Elf style has emerged ever since LawLight really popularized it, I would say, the Warden opening. What would you say? When can you do it? When should you do it? And what are the pros and cons maybe of the Warden that we've seen so much?
With Warden, you try to survive several critical phases of the game where you will always nearly lose. But if you survive through it, you suddenly have a champion in your hands that can win the game by yourself, basically. If you do well enough on the Wisp defense threat. It is Demon, by the way, but
yeah.
If you do well enough on defending all the way until your first, second, and third rejuvenation, and you somehow survive that initial tower push, Even if they expand and you manage to set up a solid macro game as a counter, she suddenly becomes very powerful in a way that Demon Hunter never really does. Demon Hunter is different. He's like a responsible hero. You responsibly need to continually take small victories with the Demon Hunter in order to justify his existence. If he were to mass creep his own side of the map, and so does Human, Demon Hunter is not nearly as good.
Yeah.
Warden would be better. Demon thrives in an aggressive environment, defense and offense. But the micro and the movement and the prioritization, that one is really important. So let's see how the early game goes. Normally I'd say Human fast expands when they see Demon Hunter. Footman Scout yet doesn't know, however. And he is going to probably use his... Okay, he's just going to take the small camp here, CrunCher.
Yeah, CrunCher not really going for the risky fast expand attempt. That, of course, might change because the Footman scouts the Demon Hunter right now. So let's see what the response of the American Human player is going to be. Oof! LiiLD.C very close, almost got the Trapper with his Ancient of War. That, not sure if he had it in control or if it was just a lucky attack rotation. You never know where the attention is.
It was good, but yeah, no, it was 100% calculated. He did it well. He attacked the other troll with his Ancient of War, and the archer finished it off. LiiLD.C did make a change. I'm quite happy to report, actually. Remember what I was talking about before Echo Isles? Triple Moonwell before tech is where it's at. He's taken too much damage thus far from footy pressure. CrunCher is already at 29 food with another farm coming. This feels like CrunCher is either launching a massive Footman assault again on the main base of LiiLD.C, or this time that he's expanding. I think it's the latter. He's still making peasants, so this will be that level 2+ Archmage, then fast expand. I expect the militia to be called at any time now.
Yeah, let's see when the workers are called to arms. There they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 militias coming through, trying to reinforce this ongoing creep on the natural expansion in LiiLD.C. He keeps his hero nearby. He knows exactly that this is one of the potential options for human players when they spot a Demon Hunter, and the number of footies is very high, as you could see there as well. So how much damage can he do with an harass, with a creepjack, or is he going to let it be? For now, he's scouting it out and sees it coming right here. It's a relatively easy camp to take, though, for the human player. Not the hardest of creeps.
Pretty good control by LiiLD.C,
Yeah.
CrunCher as well. LiiLD.C cannot really commit. Demon Hunter Archer is not the type of army that can do big damage here. His best chance would be Mana Burn, Steal, but CrunCher will not permit it. Good micro by CrunCher there, holding off on the attack and unloading maximum damage on the Demon Hunter. In comes Scout Tower, and soon in comes the Town Hall. 6 peasants power building here.
Absolutely, and he found the rings of protection. Logan is very appreciative of this expansion, I think.
I will take it away. I thought I did.
I love it. All right. It's all good, man. That's what Fight Night's all about.
Squeaky Toys. Fight Night. Tune in every other Friday.
All right. LiiLD.C, he knows what's coming. He has time to prepare, of course. And his Demon Hunter looks very sad, doesn't it? No level 2 inside. Items relatively poor. He didn't really get much done himself. And now he needs to expend additional resources to keep this Ancient of War alive. He goes for the mercenary camp. And what are the responses, really, that LiiLD.C has? He could go for an early attack. He could try to maybe do a counter expansion. Of course, with the tech advantage that he has, you go for a second hero to really bring that through. So let's see what the Swedish Night Elf is going to apply here. But look at CrunCher, man. Despite the fact that his expansion is building up, he's not done yet. He has 2 sentry wards, which are great during nighttime, especially when there is Shadow Meld available for archers that are hurt. So he is applying a little bit of pressure once again himself, and he spots where LiiLD.C is immediately.
Yeah, and Mana Burn will come out for 50. He's still level 2 on the Demon Hunter. Ancient of War taking a bit of damage here from the Troll Trapper, trying to get an ensnare in. Oh my god, 5 footies around on the Demon Hunter. Great micro, and Demon Hunter immediately town portaling.
That is so scary right now. 350 gold for the TP. Super scary. He won't have that. And now at tier 2, for example, you know, when the Mountain King comes through, this could really bite him. But look at this. LiiLD.C is trying to end the game before that even happens, or at least to end the expansion before that happens. With the Naga, the most aggressive choice from the neutral tavern, coming through. Mercenaries in town there. Double Troll, Shadow Priest, and Berserker. Demon Hunter in the mix now. And look at the mass repair going onto the Arcane Tower. This one is very important to hold here. The Troll, Shadow Priest goes down immediately. And now this is already starting to become quite messy. So many footies are still alive. He has a sentry ward, so the nighttime won't even protect the Night Elf if he desires to cancel that one.
Yeah, I didn't get the Arcane Tower. Too much mass repair. Loads of footies with defend around here. In the meantime, LiiLD.C, to his credit, he only lost about 1 or no wisps. So this time, that pressure wasn't there. In return, CrunCher got an expansion. So if he doesn't hurt the economy of LiiLD.C, he has boosted his own. And LiiLD.C will get to tech unmolested to tier 3 with double Ancient of Lore, which are on the way now. But that's late Dryads, late Bears. Time during which CrunCher can develop his tech. Get maybe one more tower, a guard tower, get rifles out, casters. But for now, LiiLD.C is getting good value. Getting a bit of hits here and there and getting some footies.
Yeah, some footies, you know, lowering the number of those, very good for future attacks, but, you know, overall, I think he expected more of this attack, perhaps. The Ancient of Lore, of course, will make a big difference. Dryads are coming out now. Of course, with the additional slow and the mobility that the Dryads provide, the Naga can truly shine and pick up more tier 1 units. Let's see what the tech does for the human player. CrunCher almost there. Mountain King soon to be reinforcing this army. A very valuable asset, especially when he spots heroes like this Demon Hunter with no defensive items. The Naga, the same can be said about her. Has a Zoe Max, though. Pretty useful for her to keep the arrows flowing. But yeah, this is looking pretty dicey now for LiiLD.C. I think he's running out of time. He needs to get damage done, and very quickly.
Demon Hunter level 3. Great
Good.
healing coming. Zeppelin on the field for CrunCher. There is no Ancient of Wind, so he can only wait until the Zeppelin would unload. That's an ever-looming threat. LiiLD.C will have to contend with that. His gold mine, his Tree of Eternity could be gone for. But having shown the Zeppelin, LiiLD.C now is in a state of passivity, of defense, of high alert. So he has to creep something close to his base and does just that, the laboratory. In the meantime, though, CrunCher just picked up the Naga Sea Witch and has gone to creep. Ahead he is in economy, but what he didn't have yet was levels, and that's what he's getting now. Translating some of that gold into heal scrolls, maybe, and getting some nice hero levels.
All right, here we go. Big healing potion on the Demon Hunter. It's going to prove to be very useful, that's for sure. What does he get here? He gets Arctic
Book of
Flicker.
the Dead.
That would be good, actually. Oh, nice. Not too bad for future attacks as long as there are no priests, which are soon to be in production, of course. Arcane Sanctum power build.
But of course, no Dispel yet, so that is
that's gonna
actually
take a
quite
while.
a solid item. It used to be better. It used to be 4 Skeletal Warriors, 4 Skeletal Archers. Now it's 3 and 2. Still solid, but not quite the powerhouse that it used to be. It's still good enough for a surround, though. If you melee an enemy hero, you can get the immediate surround with that.
Pretty cool scout here coming in from CrunCher with a Zeppelin. So if LiiLD.C wasn't scouting the army, wasn't seeing it, that could sometimes force a panic reaction to send a hero back or so. But now he knows, of course, that it's just a scouting Zeppelin and nothing major is going to happen off it. And now he goes in, has a strong item. As we said, Book of the Dead could actually deal tremendous damage. He's putting his Demon Hunter in a dangerous position, though, only has a greater healing. So how much can he tank? For now, looks very good. Has to use the healing immediately. That Fork Lightning hit like a truck. And what is LiiLD.C going to do now? More bears in the mix. Roar coming through. No Dispel, of course, as we said. Demon Hunter tanking through. Reacher so strong. And here come the skeletons as reinforcements. One tower went down. Very good for him. And the Concave is huge. No melee units in range of those Dryads, of those Archers. And all of a sudden, the Bears, as the top tier tank units that they are in this situation of the game, are dealing loads of damage, actually. So huge. One Bear may be in trouble. I'm not sure if there's a Staff of Preservation. No, there's not.
No
so one will fall.
There's nothing here for LiiLD.C. And
Yeah.
he's fighting against Zeppelin. One bear goes down. He takes down the priest. There's still a lot of peasants here. Guard tower going for the Dryads. Naga, Sea Witch, and Archers are getting flanked by 4 militia. Demon Hunter is in deep. Level 2 evasion, trying to get out, and that's a rout. How good was the damage? I mean, it was good. He got the tower, he got peasants, but the economy has immediately been restored for CrunCher. He's got level 4 almost on the Archmage, 2 on the Naga. Now, LiiLD.C going for that shot. Maybe should have gone for it a little bit earlier because this regen scroll is doing great work.
Absolutely, Grubby. And time has been bought for CrunCher. Now his tech units are coming through. The casters, the sorcerers, and the priests are here. Immediately rebuilds the Arcane Vault, not only as a source of, healing items, but also, of course, the SimCity. The wall needs to stand to make it harder for the Bears and the Demon Hunter to trickle in. Now, expansion was held, and that is the most important thing for CrunCher. In the meantime, LiiLD.C realized that his damage was good, his heroes are looking strong, and the units are starting to come in as well. So he senses his chance in a counter expansion. Immediately scouted, though, by one of CrunCher's footies. I gotta say that the way CrunCher is proactive on the map is very impressive. Very rarely does he miss anything. You know, there's always a footie, there's always a unit, a water elemental or something along those lines that immediately finds out what his opponent is doing.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Kendric. Really, really clean play by CrunCher. And if it does become a 3-1, it will be one of the most deserved victories so far. He's just shining here, playing clean. Yeah, that one game just now with the Naga first, but it was a decent bet, and he had the space for it. Perhaps even looking to entertain the crowd a bit and winning in a different way, while having the confidence that he could win and close it out in one of the final 2 maps. Now, power crunching here. Power crunching? Power creeping. Power crunching. That shall be the new name of Kerwin.
What does the demon find here? Helm of Valor. Not too bad.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not huge like an Unholy or an Endurance Aura thing.
Needs a little bit more, but at least he gets the big chunk of experience. And if there's one thing I would really say that's looking kind of favorable to LiiLD.C, it's his heroes. Much stronger than the last time we went for Demon Hunter. This guy is definitely a threat right now. The items are looking pretty okay. As we said, Helm of Valor, a little bit of extra tankiness and additional damage from the agility on it. Very solid. The Naga close to level 4 as well with a Sobi mask will have tremendous value. So if he just makes it to the late game stage with his expansion coming through, which is currently marching to his natural, I think he has a shot. He really does have a better shot this time. Also, there's no MK, by the way. It was a Naga play, of course, by CrunCher. So perhaps we're going to see a third hero coming in anytime soon. For now, though, he stays on tier 2 and just tries to get more towers in for further attacks and maybe more critical mass of Spellbreakers and casters in the back.
Yeah, he's going to be at 80 food kind of soon. Now getting the Ogre Lord as well. Oh, okay. So here's why Night Elf builds a shop there. Wake up the camp before Human is ready to do it, so that there's more Bloodlust, more Inner Fire, and more Shockwaves, in an effort to make sure the Human is damaged when the Night Elf comes to attack. He didn't cancel the shop though. It died, gave experience to the Human, and CrunCher is creeping just fine either way.
Yeah.
Still though, LiiLD.C comes in, forces a TP, and carves out a little bit of space on the map, gets his Sorceress as well, and 2 creeps, so not a bad idea overall. His tree has been rooted, he saved up 50 food, he's now spamming Dryads, and is at 67 food. Not bad, only 4 food less than the Human, with hero levels that are better, nearly 5 Demon Hunter. The one thing missing though, no invulnerability potion on the Demon, no anti-magic shell, and only 1 Staff of Preservation. There's a healing ward for CrunCher.
Now, I'm not so sure, Grubby, if this is the fight that LiiLD.C wants to take. He took a little bit of damage in that previous fight, and he's now fighting a fully rejuvenated Human army. Healing wards in the back there as well. The casters are casting their magic without real interruptions. Bear after bear is falling, and expensive units for the Night Elf to lose here at this point. Has a little bit of a concave, though, with the Berserker trying to go for more Spellbreakers. Level 5 Demon, very huge level up here indeed. Has no TP, no protection, and CrunCher sees it. Tries to go for the body block with the Archmage as well, but the staff is there to save the day. That was a dicey situation for the Night Elf player.
Now, CrunCher lost a good amount of units. He's remaking 6 food worth. He was 62. Lost maybe about 15 food, about 5 units. LiiLD.C lost a little bit more than that. Did get Demon 5 now, and he got the TP to live to tell the tale. Anti-magic shell, kind of useless, because it can be dispelled. However, priests don't actually have dispel upgrade. So little does he know, but anti-magic shell would have actually been fantastic, counteracting the effects of Frost Arrow and Slow, and even Spell Steal from the Breakers, but he does not have it. In come Wisps.
Mana burn, not that strong,
Nargon,
only
Mirror's
draining
out of
away
position.
17. Very dangerous situation. The Demon Hunter has a healing potion, had to use it early already. Healing ward being dispelled, that is very good. But now, it is basically mayhem. It's chaos everywhere. Some Dryads extremely exposed. The Spellbreaker's now going for the attempted surround and attack on the Demon Hunter, who's so close, gets slowed 24/7, has to use the last drops of Moon Juice here in the Moonwells. Now it's the Naga's turn to feel the focus fire of CrunCher. CrunCher looking very strong. By the way, his Naga is an absolute powerhouse. The stats and the damage is insane. But for now, the Bears are holding strong. The Dryads in the back dealing a little bit of damage. This is an absolute bloodbath. Who is going to reign supreme? For now, the Demon Hunter the Night Elven heroes in general have to play so carefully, and this of course opens the window for the human player to deal tremendous damage.
Dryads are doing a great job against breakers and casters. There aren't that many riflemen left. Just 2, in fact. That's kind of unusual. It's mostly a breaker caster army now, so Dryads better than expected, and the expansion for LiiLD.C is just starting to mine. But here's the problem. No Ancient of Wonders. No mana on the Moonwells anymore. So whatever lifeblood LiiLD.C was living on is slowly flowing away.
And you can really see that it's so important for LiiLD.C to keep his hero safe, to buy more time to get this additional value from his newly built expansion. And with that micro focus fire, by the way, by the Dryads, he snipes one caster after the other. This is really well done by LiiLD.C while also keeping his units safely for now. But look at this strong position that CrunCher finds himself in. Of course, the longer this attack goes, the more value the Archmage aura is going to give. You know, so much mana is currently being restored on the casters. He killed Moonwells, Night Elven units, and I think the damage has been dealt. CrunCher satisfied with his outcome and now retreats to fight another day. And while we mentioned the Night Elven heroes before, Grubby, so did the human heroes gain a lot of experience. They're looking very strong right now. Shop control, buying some new items, and relaunching the attack.
It seemed like a mistake to pull back, but he only went for a little bit. Just running an errand, picking up double heal scroll and selling 1 ring of protection in order to be able to afford it. And here we go with the resurgence. Dryads trying to remove those water elementals, but they're so tanky.
Wow.
Double abolish and a detonate is what he needs. Fork lightnings flying left and right. Demon Hunter being focused with the rejuvenation potion on it. Demon Hunter trying to get away. Naga now potentially exposed for LiiLD.C, but CrunCher grinds out 1 by 1 unit, focusing rather on the Dryads, the Bears, and defensive micro. Breaker pulling away. Breaker keeps pulling away, getting healed.
You said it, Grubby. There's no Ancient of Wonders here. No shop control for LiiLD.C. He has to watch his poor units fall one after the other. Level 5 for CrunCher's Naga Sea Witch right now. It looks like the Night Elven base is his to take. And the only thing left for LiiLD.C here is to maybe get some mercenaries into the mix, trying to get some additional firepower here. But this looks almost unholdable right now for the Swede. It looks like he's on his last leg. So many structures were destroyed. Maybe he's going to be able to build a shop outside of his main base. A little bit of reju coming through for the Demon Hunter, who's very close to level 6, actually. 5 3/4, I would say. But can he get the units that he so direly needs? Naga level 5 as well. LiiLD.C with mercenaries in Tau. Is he going to be able to do it? Demon Fire, though, charging in head on, trying to defend the base once and for all. But the rifle numbers are overwhelming right now. The Naga Sea Witch falls first, and GG well played is called by our Swedish champion, who has been dethroned by CrunCher, the North American phenomenon here. Fantastic.
CrunCher brings it all back to North America for himself as well, for the human race, with a 3-1 dominant victory. As long as his Naga was second and not first, he was doing pretty good in this series.
Oh man, we have to give a lot of kudos to LiiLD.C, who fought like a lion there to really keep himself in this series. But in the end, the human CrunCher proved to be too strong and lived up to the hype that was generated around him. You know, a lot of people called him one of the strongest challengers that we brought to Fight Night in a long while. And with the exception of this Echo Isle game where he went for a very aggressive push strategy, he looked very solid. As expected in the Night Elf versus human matchup right now, the humans just seem to have their number. And with very little to almost zero mistakes by CrunCher, his defense was impenetrable.
Yeah, the biggest mistake he made was on Northern Isles at the bottom right when his Mountain King got isolated. Besides that, it was just really clean positional play. And there's so much that he did right that we didn't even mention, because it is almost bordering the mundane or the standard. Like the exact positioning of his tower when he expands, the positioning of his arcane vault, that all of his peasants are really near and quick to react when the tower needs to get repaired, that he has enough peasants, macro on point, tech speed, all these things that are a quiet process of improvement for an aficionado of the game, for someone who practices and tries to get the best he can. And normally you'll never talk about them, but when it all comes together, it looks a little something like that. So major props to CrunCher, and I can't wait to see how he will do against our next challenger 2 weeks from now.
Absolutely. It's going to be an absolute blast to find out how he's going to fare in 2 weeks from now. Of course, guys, feel free to drop us some feedback if there's favorite players that you have, favorite races you want to see. You can always tweet at me or Grubby or HeroesHearth Warcraft 3. You can let us know how you enjoyed the games in general. Any feedback is always appreciated. This show has actually come a long way, Grubby, right? Episode 15, I believe this was. I remember how we all started all those months ago, and we're really happy and grateful about your support out there, guys. The players love it. We've had some great feedback by the players, in fact, who really appreciate and love this format. So we hope we gave you a good show. And if you think we did, then feel free to follow us here on Twitch. By giving us a follow, you make sure to never miss any of the future fight nights. The VOD on YouTube will go live soon. And if you have now tasted blood, you can also check out all the previous episodes, of course, on our YouTube channel if you want to find out more about that. Aside from that, I would like to say thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a great night. The final words belong to Grubby before we release you and send you off.
Yeah, have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the fight night. See you in 2 weeks from now on Friday once again.